Hey there everybody, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria with today's plank story. A pretty long plank story, so if you're a plank person, you're going to want to change it up. Side plank, straight plank, a reverse plank, or maybe just get up, march in place, or sit down and do some gentle stretches. You can go in and out of a cat stretch, or if you're in my classes, the Zeppelin, you kind of wiggle around. Any movement you want to do, but let's get the clock running. Here we go. All right. So this weekend, Matt and I were in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where the center of some of space travel is. So that's where the U.S. Space and Rocket Center is, and where they designed the rockets that first took us to the moon. And it's where Space Camp is held. Now, we've been to Alabama twice, and I've got to say I think it's a highly underrated state. Both times we've had a fabulous time. So I would recommend Alabama if you've never been. I don't know why we'd never been to Huntsville. I don't know why Matt didn't actually go to Space Camp as a kid. He always would have wanted to. And when I was a child in the 80s, one of my favorite movies was Space Camp. And so I was always kind of interested in Huntsville, Alabama as well. And the U.S. Space and Rocket Center did not disappoint. It had these great displays. You can see actual life-size parts of the rocket and the processes they went through for Apollo 11 to get to the moon. It's sort of this fascinating journey, and you can kind of walk through a fake version of the space station. Go there if you get the chance. But what I will say, and I don't mean to compare our RV road trip to going to the moon, but what stood out to me there and on this trip is that any adventure and anything that's really worth rewarding comes with a ton of struggle. So we've certainly had an adventure. It's been a great trip, but it has had its trials and tribulations. Most recently, a few days ago, we sprung a leak in the shower, so we now have a hole in the wall. The other day, a spring popped off the cupboard and now it won't close. When it got cold here, I hadn't taken out my winter boots since we left Connecticut, and I went to put them on and I couldn't get my foot in it because there was just a chunk of metal inside my boot. We can't figure out where it came from or how it got in there, but the boot hasn't left the RV, so that chunk of metal was somewhere in this RV doing something before it wound up in my boot. And it's been many, many incidents along the way. But through it all, even in my moments of real frustration, except for one, I feel like it's been very clear that this adventure was worth it. And once I got past that one, even then, it's just felt totally worth it. For all the struggle, it's been worth it. And anything in my life, the things I feel are most rewarding have come with struggle. And, I could take a beach vacation, it'll be relaxing, but it won't be rewarding the way you get when you have something that is challenging. And so we're at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center looking at the process it took to go to the moon. And I'm just reminded by this, right? That's a real worthwhile, fascinating, impressive feat. And yet to get there, they had a number of rockets that failed and didn't work. The first 3 men that were going to go to the moon, who are probably eager and excited, they die in a fire, just doing a test run, right? One of the worst losses you can have in trying to do something and get somewhere. And then I could not get out of my head when you see the capsule that the 3 men, so when they actually do get to the moon, what these men are in for 9 days. I'm going to guess the interior is roughly the size of a smart car. So you've got 3 guys, 9 days inside a smart car. And later on in the exhibit, they point out that even today at the space station, the air filtration system is really important because you can't crack a window and get fresh air, and humans living together in trapped spaces smell. There's body odor, you go to the bathroom, you cook food. Apparently, it doesn't smell good. Now, I'm not sure they had much of an air filtration system in '69 when Apollo 11 goes to the moon, so I imagine it smelt in there. And the U.S. Space Station's really good at, the U.S. Space Center is really good at answering all those questions you'd want to know, how do they go to the bathroom? And so they had sample products of what they had to use. I don't know how they got any privacy when they did this, but these 3 men had to basically tape plastic bags to their behind, go to the bathroom, and then store it because they wanted to do testing on their fecal matter afterwards. This made me smile for lots of reasons, but also be extra grateful for what they had done. And I turned to Matt, who truly hates fecal matter, which is why in the RV I have the job with the black water. And I said to him, "Oh, you've always wanted to go to outer space. Well, if you had to basically do this in front of people and collect it in a bag and watch other people do it, would you want to go to the moon?" And he just looked at me and said, they got to go to the moon. You do what you do. You do what you have to do to go to the moon. And I thought, again, it's so true. To do these wonderful things, to have any kind of adventure, to have those things that are truly worthwhile, you do what you got to do and you get through the sucky hard parts. It's everything, right? I don't have kids, but I've watched people have kids. It's a challenge from like labor all through raising them. But it's also so rewarding and worthwhile. Everything we do that really is truly rewarding seems to come with struggle. I know we didn't choose this pandemic. It's not like the choice to go to the moon. It's not like the choice to take an RV trip. But again, I think we as humans struggle. It makes us step up. We become innovative. We become creative. And we do get positives out of the negative. So anyway, for all the trials and tribulations that we have had on this journey, it's overall a good trip. Although we did wake up this morning and say, it's time to get home. So we are on our way home, hopefully later today. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you keep moving. And I hope in your moments of struggle, you see or remember that in the end, there's a good thing to come from that. All right. Well, that was a 5-minute and 40-second lecture, I guess. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.